Howdy farmers. I've recently settled at the new location and it's time to bring a couple of indoor farms to life again. Today's video will give you a glimpse of some potting action as well as what herbs and plants you can expect to get updates about in the near future. As always, I have prepared beforehand with all the materials and tools needed before I get my hands dirty. So again, all pots are marked with numbers that will have more information tied to them in a spreadsheet. For the seeds that will turn into long-lasting plants, such as strawberry or paprika or peppers, I want to use cocoa as a medium. This cocoa medium has no nutrients in it at all, which requires all nutrients to be added by hand. I prefer to have them in a cocoa medium, which is better aerated and will let me have full control of what nutrients are in the medium. I have pre-mixed some hydroponic nutrients, 10 liters, which translates to 2.64 gallons. The pH is at 6.1 and the EC is at 0.78. This is a pretty weak mix, suited for junglings and seedlings. I have split 2 milk cartons in half, which I'm going to try out some different microgreens in. I will be using potting mix in the bottom of the pots and seed starting mix in the top. As they won't be alive for very long and will be harvested in the very near future, there is no need for a lot of nutrients. Also, since these pots will most likely be discarded together with the growing medium after harvest, I don't want to waste any precious cocoa. New this time is that I have acquired some mosquito net that I will be experimenting with. I have cut out some squares that I will be using in the bottom of the bigger pots that will contain cocoa, as I will be quite generous when watering those and hopefully it will prevent cocoa fiber from falling out from the holes and end up on the floor of my tents. I think it's important to keep your grow space clean and this will hopefully help me a little in the process. Alright, enough talking. Let's get started. To the microgreens. I fill the cartons halfway up with potting mix for vegetables and the top half with seed starting mix. Then I spread the microgreen seeds evenly across the soil, trying to avoid large clusters and making sure that as many as possible are in contact with the soil. I give the seeds a little pat to increase contact with the soil and thereby increasing germination rate. For the seeds that are larger, such as paprika, peppers and tomatoes, I will ultimately have them in quite large pots, but they are still starting out in small seed plugs, which are roughly 1 inch across in size. As I do this, I prefer to first pour out some seeds in my hand and then I pick them up with the tip of a wet bamboo skewer. As my fingers are quite thick and clumsy, this makes the process a lot easier. And if more than one seed should germinate, I will pick the strongest and tallest one after it has reached about 1 inch in size. When planting seeds, I prefer to use a spray bottle. With this method, it is a lot easier to get it evenly moist without accidentally soaking the pots. Alright. They have been covered with saran wrap and moved into the 40 centimeter wide tent. They will germinate in darkness, so I will close this lamp until they germinate, and then they will receive slightly more than 200 ppfd. And some of them will most likely move on to this tent, 2x2 foot tent, which currently has 250 ppfd in the center and just above 200 in the outer edges. I have some plants going on here already, some peppers, some tomatoes, and of course some basil. The seeds will now germinate in complete darkness. I turn off the lamp and close the tent. 2 days later since planting, and the seeds have now had a non-stop blackout period since then. We can see that all different types of microgreens have germinated with great success. None of the other seeds, such as pepper, basil, or the strawberries, have breached surface yet. Day 3. The microgreens have grown a lot and are now ready for a photo period of 16 hours. I will also be removing the saran wrap as everything has now germinated. Alright guys, it's been exactly 10 days since the seeds were dunked in soil and everything has germinated except the wild strawberries. And this is just an old pot with some oregano that don't want to breach at all. I chose to turn the lamp off and use this small tent as a dark room for germination, and instead I moved everything over to the larger tent where the Z5 is hanging. The microgreens are doing really well. It's time for harvest. I will harvest them in just a bit. The second set of leaves have just started to appear on all the different greens. This is the 4 different basils, and this is also what you could expect in the first 10 days from planting. Once it has grown a bit, it will start to grow a lot each day, but the start can be a bit slow. The strawberry popped up today. It took exactly 10 days. This is the garlic chives, just picking up, and everything else has grown like crazy, both the peppers and the tomatoes. This can also be achieved, a sweet tray of microgreens, in sunlight in your window. The result may not look exactly like this, but it would absolutely work. Same goes for basil and smaller herbs. It may not be practical for adult tomato and pepper plants. The lamp have been hung at just about almost 75 centimeters, which equals roughly 2.5 feet. This results in (250 ppfd outer edges, which is actually quite high, and 280 ppfd center spot. There are more updates to come in the future regarding these plants in this tent. I will do some experiment with topping since I have 2 or more of each type. If you have any questions or need help setting up your grow, you can send us an email or just leave a comment below. We will gladly help you in any way we can. We also have a lot of great information on our website that can help you understand your plant's light requirements and how to give your plants exactly what they need. Any and all feedback is appreciated. Please let us know what you think about the information we put out, and we would also love to hear what you would like to see more of in the future. Until next time, happy farming.